Live better and longer with the Fitzness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Well, hi team. I'm Fitz Kohler, your super bossy fitness pro and noisy race announcer from fitzness.com. And welcome to the Fitzness Show. Today we're going to do Q&A. That's right. Y'all have sent me a bunch of Q's and I've got a bunch of A's. We're going to talk about beer and fruit and abs and strength training and our RRCA. That's right, the Roadrunners Club of America. So I'm excited to do all that. If you haven't done so yet, make sure you subscribe wherever you listen to the Fitzness Show, because when you subscribe, you get notifications that says Fitz is being noisy again. Turn on Spotify or Apple Music or wherever it is you listen. And I have lots of things to say to you. That's right. I want you to live better and live longer. And yeah, that's why I do this. So please, for the love of God, subscribe. Also, I told you this once, but I'm going to tell you again, keep stalking Fitzness on Instagram and fitzness.com, because we're just getting so close to the book being finished. We've had a little cover epiphany. The cover, trust me, is a very big deal. And we've gone from one thing to the next, but I think we're probably going to get it right. Anywho, that. And also, I have something important that I want to talk to you about at the end of the show. And I would talk to you about it at the beginning of the show, but I won't be able to get through the show the way I'd like to if I talk to you about it at the start. So we're going to talk fitness first, which is what I love to do. And fortunately, the fitness topics have hit my on switch, so I can do this. And then we'll talk about the thing I want to talk about at the end. We got it? Are we clear? I think we are. Okay, so first question from Valerie Marble. She says, you talk about strength training and doing upper body on one day and lower body the next and continue alternating after that. Where do you put ab work? Do you just decide to do it with either upper body or lower body and keep it that way? So yeah, I mean, when I want you to train in my dream scenario, right? This is gold standard. This is platinum standard, you becoming your absolute best version of you. I want you to train all of your muscles every other day. So whether you go from head to toe on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, you know what I'm saying? That's fine. Or you could break it up. You could do upper body on Monday, lower body on Tuesday. You could get creative and do your entire backside, your lats and triceps and erector spinae and your glutes and your hammies and calves on Monday. And then you could do the front side, the anterior tibialis and the quads and the hip flexors and the abs and the chest and the biceps and your shoulders on Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? So you could break up your workouts however you want. But when it comes to ab training, which is specifically her question, I recommend training your abdominal and low back muscles, those erector spinae muscles, at the end of your workouts. So whenever you decide to insert them, just do them last. And why? Why do I say that? Well, those muscles are required for proper form to stabilize you as you stand upright or sit upright. When you do bicep curls standing, your abs and your low back are engaged and they keep you from swaying back and forth, for example. So those core muscles are there for stability. If you train them first, and when I say train them, I don't mean do 8 crunches and move on. I mean train them until they are fatigued, right? We want you to get better. When you're strength training, you should be grunting, and all of a sudden your abs should go, whoo, tired, and your low back should go, woo, I'm tired. And if you do that first, you're not going to be able to maintain proper form as you do military press and lunges or squat jumps or anything else. So whenever you choose to do abdominal and low back training, just do it last. You can do it at the end of your upper body workout or the end of your lower body workout or the end of your total body workout, but do it last. It's very important that you do, because proper form prevents injuries, and we want all your workouts to make you better, not worse. Excellent question, Valerie. Thank you for asking. I'm sure that's one that was on everybody's mind. I'm sure a lot of people have been thinking, where do I put abs and why do I put them there? Now you know. Okie dokie. Chrissy Bergeron Lyons. Chrissy, you always send such great questions, and it makes me so happy. And you know I love you anyways. Chrissy's also a spectacular teacher. And from some of her posts, it makes me wish I was in her class. Like if I could regress many years and just go learn the ABCs, I would have a lot of fun doing that in Chrissy's. And Yassine Gunay, he's also in education. He sounds like a fun guy. He's always doing sports and activities, exercising with his students, which I love. So Chrissy says, can we talk fruit? If you eat an entire orange, that is way more than 1 cup of fruit. should we consider eating an entire orange, 2 or 3 servings? So good question, but on average, a medium orange is only 1 serving, and an apple, only 1 serving, and a banana, only 1 serving. And of course, they come in different sizes, but also we come in different sizes. So I would be probably off if I told you a large apple was 2 servings for you, because maybe it's 2 servings for me, but maybe if someone is 250 pounds, that bigger piece of fruit isn't such a big serving for them. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, 1 orange, 1 serving, 1 apple, 1 serving. Now things get tricky when you get to pineapples, right? A pineapple might be 5 or 6 servings. A watermelon might be 15 servings. And of course, grapes, golly, you're going to have 20 of those to equal a serving, I'm guessing. So if serving size is really important to you, what I recommend is using an app, going online and asking specifically, if you're doing a calorie count, which I'm guessing you are using the exact formula, perhaps you want to poke into MyFitnessPal or whatever app you're using, 20 grapes, and then it'll tell you how many calories that is. And if you poke in one, I mean, you're probably going to have to go with small, medium, large orange, and then it will tell you how many calories are in either. But yeah, 1 orange, 1 serving. I'm going to simplify things for you there. Same thing for peaches. And I don't know. You get the gist. If you can fit the fruit in your hand, it's probably 1 serving, and go from there. Use technology when necessary. Excellent question. And we will be right back. Wouldn't it be fun to feel like a celebrity on race day? Imagine if all the spectators between the start and finish line were calling your name. Well, they would if they could. And that's why you have to tell them by ordering the Name Bib Kit at penandpaces.com. It's a waterproof, tear-proof bib. You can put it on your chest. It comes with 2 sets of alphabet stickers for you to write your name. And so as you cruise on by, everyone can say, "Go Katie, go Jamal, go Susie," whoever you are, they're going to cheer for you. I promise. It's a special way to race. I ran the Boston Marathon with my name on my sports bra. Felt like everybody in the town of Boston was cheering, "Go Fitz." And I want that for you too. So head on over to penandpaces.com right now, order your race bib, and have the time of your life. We're back. David Gear, he says, "I've been thinking about getting my RRCA level 1 coaching license. Your thoughts? Is this a legit course? If anything, I can write my own running plan, but when I retire, I would like to make it a source of income for at least race entry fees." So this is a wonderful question. And Dave, it's taken me quite a few weeks, maybe more than quite a few weeks, to answer, because I wanted to reach out to the RRCA and get their feedback. So Gene Mack is the CEO of the Roadrunners Club of America. That's what RRCA stands for. And Randy Acheta is the director of coaching education. And I'm very familiar with RRCA. I have tons of friends around the country who are RRCA coaches. And then I did a keynote for them last year in Orange County. I met with all the RRCA folks, and I got to speak for them. And there's so many people who are legit that I admire within the running community that are RRCA certified and are coaches. So I take their participation as a gold stamp of approval that this organization is legit. And then I just know lots of people who are coaches, and they make a living. They actually are making a living helping people prepare for running events. And so, yeah, that's my initial instinct. But I reached out and said, "Hey, Gene, back this up. Tell me why our RCA coaching certification is legit." And she brought in Randy. So these are some of their bullets. They sent me a big email. I've kind of condensed it all, but they have a proven legacy. Their first formal certification program for distance running coaches was established in the early 1990s. So that's over 30 years. They're widely recognized as a gold standard, with many programs attempting to copy their success, right? So they're the Coca-Cola, and everybody else is kind of like the Pepsi and the RC Cola, if that's, I mean, maybe some of the other programs are great too. I don't want to trash businesses I know nothing about, but our RCA is the OG when it comes to running coaching. They say they have an expertly built curriculum rooted in a strong scientific body of knowledge. We like that. They cover exercise physiology in depth, yet it's accessible to those without a science background. Also a good thing, designed to prepare coaches to work with all levels, beginners through Olympians. And So one of the things that I sometimes take beef with, and I also don't want to take beef with these people, is you get maybe a high school coach, someone who used to play soccer and now they're coaching soccer. And that's great. They know the sport of soccer, which I love. But sometimes they don't know the ins and outs of proper warm-ups and proper stretching. And sometimes these coaches are hurting their students based on ignorance, right? They aren't fitness experts. They aren't familiar with all the do's and don'ts of body mechanics and proper form and, again, warm-ups and cool downs and not overdoing things. Overuse. You hear a lot of overuse in amateur sports. And so I like that RRCA is hopefully building in a bunch of exercise physiology stuff that's in layman's terms that the average Joe who loves to run can come and learn and pass along. Okie dokie. They have an elite teaching team with PhD, MD professionals shape the curriculum and assessment. So they went to knowledgeable people when they were creating the curriculum. Their faculty includes experts in exercise science. Hey, Gene, you may want to reach out to me. Medicine, mental health, and the running industry, all trained in seminar-style teaching to create engaging interactive sessions. So if you go to take one of these live sessions, hopefully your instructor will be engaging, clear, concise, understandable, and set you up for success. It says they're people-powered, not AI-powered. They have real experienced professionals teaching and interacting with every participant. Instruction reflects years of lived coaching, teaching, and running experience. So yeah, you're going to learn from people who have been there, done that in every situation. And that's actually really handy dandy. I used to teach a fitness instructor certification course, and being able to pass along my wisdom from my experiences really benefited my students. It's funny, when I was certified, they basically handed me a book. Read the book. And the book had all sorts of good things, but it had a whole bunch of unnecessary things. Like, what does a fitness instructor need to know about ATP? It's not really relevant to the act of teaching a course. There's all this anatomical information you should know and heart rate and so forth. But the book kind of went above and beyond, and it just made no sense. So it sounds like our RCA is keeping things on a practical level. Yes, there's some science, but how do you engage with people, right? How are you going to, what does the coaching process look like? What happens if something goes awry or people have these weird situations? I think you're going to get that from experienced instructors. They have respected alumni. And again, this is where I was going before. They have Olympians, including Molly Huddle, Keith Brantley, Frank Shorter, Lorraine Muller. A lot of good folks, a lot of big deals in the running industry have been through this program, which speaks volumes. They're the business of coaching model. Okay, so they're going to teach you how to coach, but then also they're going to teach you, how do you make a living? How do you get money for your coaching services? And if you're going to do that in retirement, hopefully that means you're not just doing it for funsies. You're going to make a little cash, right? We want some money on the side. And the fact that they're coaching people up on being entrepreneurs goes a long way. And then finally, it says they have a rigorous and respected credential. Participants must pass a challenging final exam and complete CPR first aid requirements. So they do have high pass rates, but it's not a gimme. Just because you show up and take the test doesn't mean you pass. They do fail people, which I love. I failed people through my fitness course. I gave them other opportunities to retake the test, but you have to earn this certification, which again is very meaningful. So I think you should do it, Dave. Why not? Why not? You love running. Running has changed your life. You are a cardiac arrest survivor, and you have so much to share, and you know the benefits of exercise, how it's changed your life in such a meaningful way. And since running is your passion, why not? Why not go for that, Dave? I say yes. And then if anybody else is interested in this, you just look up Road Runners Club of America. That's RRCA. Tell them Fitz Kohler sent you. I'm friend of the organization. I want you to know that. But I do think they're legit, and I've seen for myself, and I know, they're legit people taking part in this organization, which speaks volumes. So give it a go, Dave. Thumbs up from me. Stamp of approval. And we will be right back.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for a loved one battling cancer? The Cancer Comeback Series by Fitz Kohler offers hope, inspiration, and practical guidance. With Your Healthy Cancer Comeback, My Noisy Cancer Comeback, and The Healthy Cancer Comeback Journal. These books are a lifeline for all patients and survivors. Right now, you can order autographed copies at a special discount. Show your support and help a loved one go from sick to strong. Visit fitzness.com today. That's FITZNESS.com. Fitzness.com.
We're back. Okay, David Gare has another question. This one is kind of fun. He says, IPA or Guinness for after running and racing? Honestly, Dave, either. I don't think there's any significant benefit. The IPAs are slightly more alcohol content. depending which one you have, sometimes Guinness can be lower in carbohydrates, lower in calories, but whatever, beer. Either one is fine. Maybe just stick to one. They do say Guinness is good for you. If you go to Ireland, there's billboards all over the place that says Guinness is good for you. It has a small amount of iron in Guinness, which I think they pride themselves on a little bit too much. My ancestors are over there like, it's good for you, trust us. But I don't think those iron levels are significant in any way. So, Dave, you have what you want. Whichever beer serves you, serves me. Just maybe stick to one, right? We don't want to undo all the goodness in running. And I have full faith you are sticking to one. And then finally, Yassine wants to know, what's my favorite race I've ever finished? God, I go back and forth with this. I mean, I hate to not be concise. Now, of course, I could say Boston Marathon. That was my only marathon, and Boston's pretty special, and that was. I really enjoyed that. But I also, I mean, my very first half marathon, I ran by accident. I thought I was doing a half, like 6 miles, a half marathon as a relay the day before, and then I found out the hard way that it was going to be the complete 13.1 miles for me, and I did, and that was nice and surprising. That was exciting. The triathlon I did after finishing chemo, even though I was a dead last finisher, I mean, I got to say that one might be the most meaningful. That one required the most work. That was the race where I suffered and I struggled the most, yet I completed it anyway. So that one could be my favorite. And then, of course, I could go back and think about my son and daughter's first 5K, just being with them and how proud I was to watch these cute little humans that I made in my tummy get out and go run and walk a race. I thought that was pretty cool too. So I don't have a most favorite one I've ever run. I'm pretty proud of all, but there's a ton of half marathons that have just faded into oblivion. I'll never remember anything about them at all. But the ones I mentioned, Boston, dead last finish triathlon, also my Spartan after I finished chemo. I did a Spartan race a month after finishing chemo, and it was just a 5K. And it was during COVID and the whole freaking country was shut down, but Florida was open for business. Thank God for Florida. And I got to go and breathe the fresh air and be around humans and use a porta potty and get dirty. And I really, really felt alive. It was pretty cool. So that's the beauty of this sport, is you get to have a whole bunch of favorites, right? You don't have to pick just one. There's so many incredible experiences out on the road or in the dirt. And yeah, I love them all. I could probably make a much longer list, but I'm going to stop right there. Okie dokie. I think that is it for my Q&A. Now, so I actually sat down yesterday to record this podcast. Today is September 11th. It's 2025 if you're listening from the deep, dark future. But today is September 11th. Yesterday, I sat down here in my office. And as I do, I picked up my phone and I scrolled and I saw that Charlie Kirk had been shot, which just gutted me. And then I just couldn't. I couldn't do this. I couldn't put on a sunny disposition and talk to you about fitness because of the fear and the stress. And then he died, and that was just awful. And I don't care what political party anyone stands with. It's awful to have any American shot, murdered in cold blood. But specifically to me, when someone is using their free speech, and this is a man who never hurt anybody. I've never seen him throw a punch. You may have opinions you disagree with him, but he was a father. He had a toddler and a baby and a wife and probably parents and a decent human being in anyone's framework of who is decent. And it's just awful. It's just awful. So I'm including this in my communication tip. So hear me out. If you're someone who just, it doesn't matter to me whether you're a lefty or a righty or somewhere in the middle. There's decency and there's our country, and we all just get one vote, right? We all just get one vote. But I was a political science major. My goal through my whole childhood was to work in politics. And I took measures to do that. Now, I finally realized that politics are too ugly for me. Exhibit A. And even though I think I'm a really good person who cares a lot, and I could put this energy and this enthusiasm for our country and for freedom and for my fellow citizens, I could put it to good work, doing good things for my city or my state or America in general. I've backed away from wanting to be a politician because it's so ugly. But I love politics. I love it. And there's those rules of thumb that people say, don't talk politics and don't talk religion. And I really want to talk about those things. Those are some of my passionate things. I mean, I admit to being not as well versed in religion. I have so much to learn, which is the beauty of having the conversation, is talking with people who know more than you, who can share some wisdom and experiences and some passages from the Bible, or from someone who reads the Torah and the Quran, right? That's why we talk about religion, is so you can learn. And then when it comes to politics, I specifically not only love talking politics, love it, love it, love it with a deep seated, it's hard to express how much I love talking about politics and love talking about America. But I specifically love talking with people who disagree with me. I don't want to talk with Fitz Kohler about politics. I don't want to talk with her because I know what she has to say. I'm in her head. That's boring. I don't need someone who agrees with me all the time. I want to have this discussion with someone who opposes me vehemently. And I want to have a civil discussion where we talk and have the opportunity to try to coerce or persuade. And then we shut up and we listen to the other person speak. And so whether you're lefty or whether you're a righty, one of the great things about Charlie Kirk is that he would go, and he was clearly a righty, but he would go to a college, sit in a tent, take a microphone for himself. He'd put a microphone out in the audience and he'd say, if you disagree with me, move to the front of the line. And that's specifically how it's supposed to be done here in America. If you disagree with me, I want to protect your right to say those things that offend me, that I think are wrong. And then what would he do? He would sit back there and he wouldn't shout and he wouldn't curse. He would just talk. He would listen and he would have a conversation. And so his presentations were equally from the left or from the middle or from anywhere else than they were his views from the right. And so I love that. I love that. I want all the lefties who have something powerful to say and all the righties who have something meaningful to say to get on a microphone. And I want us all to listen. I think that's so special. That's what makes us special, right? There's people in England being arrested for social media posts. They say something on social media, cops are showing up at their doors. Are you kidding? And to all of my friends in Europe who listen, all my listeners in Europe, I'm so sorry you guys are dealing with that. That's insanity, right? In America, we're supposed to be able to speak our mind. Now, someone who I adore, one of my most favorite persons in the world, I've heard recently say, I hate Charlie Kirk. And I was devastated by that, not because I love Charlie Kirk more than anything, but because there was hate in that wonderful person's heart, that this wonderful person that I think is intelligent and capable and reasonable hated somebody for their political views. And I'm sickened by that because we've talked about this many times, or I've talked about this ad nauseum here on the Fitzness Show. Don't waste your energy on hating, right? And especially when you say, I hate those sandwiches and I hate the Seminoles, or I hate the Miami Dolphins, or really, hate is a really strong feeling. Hate is toxic. Hate is bad for you, certainly bad for the rest of the world. And the fact that you would spend energy hating sandwiches or colleges or sports teams, or God forbid, other real life humans with blood in their veins and families at home. It's those innocent, I hate that person. That's what gets them killed. That's what gets decent Americans killed. Whether you like them or not, they don't deserve a bullet through their jugular because of their political opinion. And so I would like for folks to talk politics. This is what I want. This is my communication tip, is talk politics. Make talking politics in a civil way the norm. Show up at Thanksgiving, greet your family, give them a hug. And when you sit down and dip your fork into the mashed potatoes, talk about our country. Talk about the hot topic that people are going to disagree, and see if you can create an environment where people aren't going to scream and they're not going to throw their fork and they're not going to slam the turkey on the wall, and they're just going to have a nice, friendly conversation. If you can create that environment in your home, maybe those people that were in your home can go out and have political conversations with other nice people. And then fewer people will be less likely to pick up a gun and go shoot somebody in the jugular because they didn't like what they had to say politically. So please talk politics. Please talk religion. All these taboo subjects are not taboo. They're important. They are very important. And I mean that for all of you. Whatever your political stance is, you should be talking about it. Our country matters. Your city matters. You should talk about city politics, and you should know about city politics. Too many people sit home on voting day when it's just a municipal election. Really? Because those elections impact your day-to-day. Like maybe a city and a county election will have a greater impact on you than some of these national decisions being made. You should converse with your neighbors. You should not worry about your neighbor hating you. You should say, hey, Jackson, tell me about your thoughts on this commissioner candidate, because I'm trying to figure out who to vote for. Maybe you have some ideas. Maybe you could go and talk to your local fire department or cops or doctors or whoever's involved and see what their ideas are. Maybe. I mean, I'm getting crazy here, but I think we should talk about it. It sickens me that a father and a husband had his jugular blown out for all the world to see, and he was taken from us because he wanted to have a conversation. I'm bothered by that. I'm really bothered by that, which is why I couldn't talk about this at the beginning, just because it's so horrible. And I so strongly believe in the First Amendment. This is the only reason I can be on here on the podcast saying the things I say. It's so important. And I want I know my listeners are all decent people. I know none of you would ever go hurt anybody. I truly believe that in my heart. But you have to do more, right? You have to say, you know what, let's talk about abortion. Let's talk about capitalism. Let's talk about borders. Should we open them? Should we let everybody in, or should we let only a certain amount of people in? Should we fund Social Security or not? Whatever it is, talk about it. And then remember that almost everybody you're going to talk about with loves dogs. That's where I find a middle ground, is when someone so vehemently disagrees with me and I'm scratching my head thinking, how does that person think that's right? Of course we all scratch our heads, but I think, okay, that person probably loves dogs and I love dogs. And that's our middle ground, right? Like that's a place where we can come together. We love dogs or sandwiches or whatever, right? When I sit down in the Florida Gator Stadium, which I love, I know half the people in there disagree with me politically. And that's okay, because we can unify around this orange and blue thing with the alligators, right? So it's upsetting. It's just really upsetting. We can do better. I think the solution is more of us having these conversations. And so people that are touchy and hypersensitive and on the break of a nervous breakdown, they're not going to hear a message they dislike and think the only way I can stop that message is by harming that person or killing that person. It's just insanity. It's insanity. So I think we all need to do our part. Please start talking about our country. Do it in a positive, productive way. Remove the word hate from your vocabulary. It's something that my mother never allowed me to do. When I was a kid, my mom said, we don't waste our energy on hate. That's a lot of energy to hate people. And so I've removed those things from my vocabulary. On occasion, it slips out in a really benign way, but I wish nobody harm. I don't wish any of our leaders harm, even the ones I disagree with. I just wish that my vote was 10 votes, but my vote is only one. And so is yours. So yeah, talk politics, say what you got to say, shut up, listen to the other person, have an open mind, be willing to learn, and then maybe pre-plan, say, we're going to talk about this. And then we're going to have a big, juicy, sweaty hug when we're done. And that's my lame little solution from here in Gainesville, Florida. Powerless girl who's heartbroken and sad for our country and trying to make a dent. That's it. And that was our communication tip of the week. My song of the show is Limp Bizkit Break Stuff, because it's just one of those days. And yeah, I'm going to go exercise and I'm going to play Break Stuff until I'm sick of hearing it. But yeah, I love you all. Thank you so much for listening to my show. Thank you so much for all of the fitness questions. I hope you keep them coming. And I'm sending all the lefties and all the righties and everyone in the middle and all of my international listeners a giant sweaty hug and a big kiss. Here it comes. You ready? Mwah! Get to work, team. I love you. Bye.
Hi, this is Rudy Novotny, the voice of America's Marathons. We all love how much running has benefited every aspect of our lives, so much so that most of us only wish we'd started sooner. Wouldn't it be wonderful to gift the opportunity to children of today? Well, you can. The Morning Mile is a before-school walking and running program that gives children a chance to start each day in an active way while enjoying fun, music, and friends. That's every child, every day. It's also supported by a wonderful system of rewards, which keeps students highly motivated and frequently congratulated. Created by our favorite fitness expert, Fitz Kohler, Morning Milers across the country have run over 2 million miles and are having greater success with academics, behavior, and sports because of it. The The Morning Mile is free to the child, free to the school, and is inexpensively funded by businesses or generous individuals. Help more kids get moving in the morning by visiting morningmile.com. Champion the program at your favorite school or find out more about sponsorship opportunities. That's morningmile.com. Long may you run.